If Joe Biden had the cognitive glitches that Donald Trump has had over the last 2 weeks, it would be 24/7 on Fox News every single day. I'm talking most recently of Donald Trump's latest deranged speech. This was in Summerville, South Carolina yesterday. Trump's brain glitching badly, unintelligibly ranting and trailing off, suggesting that it was Jeb Bush rather than George W. Bush who took us to war in Iraq. Trump visibly confused, glitching badly, and it didn't start well. It started with Trump being introduced as the President of the United States. Take a look at this.
For South Carolina, Donald Trump, for all of us, Donald Trump, President of the United States, Donald Trump.
There you go. A quick editorial fact check. Donald Trump is not President of the United States. This is not that you get to keep your title even after you're no longer president. They still, former President Barack Obama, Mr. President, sir. This is different. This is introducing Trump as the President of the United States. That crowd may actually believe Trump is currently the president. We've interviewed some of these people. Some of them believe Trump is currently the president in some kind of shadow way. And then it just went downhill from there. Here is Donald Trump confusing Jeb and George W. Bush. He doesn't seem to have the slightest idea what he's talking about. His brain turning to mayonnaise right before our very eyes.
Well, the season starts. We start in Iowa. We go to New Hampshire. We come down here. You know, the beauty was when I came here, everyone thought Bush was going to win. And then they took a poll and they found out Trump was up by about 50 points. Everyone said, what's going on right here? They thought Bush, because Bush supposedly was a military person. Great. You know what? He was a military. He got us into the Middle East. How did that work out, right?
What?
But they all thought that Bush might win. Jeb. Remember Jeb? He used the word Jeb. He didn't use the word Bush. I said, you mean he's ashamed of the last name? And then they immediately started using the name Bush.
Trump saying Bush ran against me and they thought he would beat me in South Carolina. That's true that Jeb ran against him and it looked like Jeb would win South Carolina. But then he got us into the Middle East and he only ran with Jeb. I can assure you, if Joe Biden got Jeb and George W. confused in this way, it would be an explosive special on Hannity for 2 weeks in a row. In the last couple of weeks, Trump has warned us that Biden will start World War II. I think we already had that one. He confused his 2016 election opponent, Hillary Clinton, with former President Barack Obama, visibly disoriented when he confused that one. He now has confused his opponent, Jeb Bush, with former President George W. Bush, and he just keeps glitching. Here's Trump talking about cell phones. He has that kind of, I don't even know what to call it, where his shoulder goes up when he gets the words wrong, and he remains confused. Unravel this word salad. I dare you.
And you know what? You see what's happening. Do you ever see the illegal aliens? The weirdest thing, they come in by the tens of thousands, sometimes a day, and they all have cell phones.
There's a glitch.
Where did they get the cell phones? Everybody has a cell phone. They're all talking on these beautiful cell phones, and they're expensive ones, too. They're nice ones. Somebody who's into that said, those are good phones. And then I say, who pays their bills? Who's paying the bills, Marjorie? Do you want to check that? I'll give it to Marjorie. She'll figure that one out fast.
Yeah.
No, but you ever notice? They're all coming in with cell phones. Our veterans don't have cell phones, do they? But they put illegal aliens first and everyone first, but he puts America last. He puts our military last. He puts our veterans last. He puts workers last. He puts small businesses last.
If you're struggling to understand that, the problem is not with you. The problem is with the messenger. Trump at another point talking about whales, not the country, by the way, talking about, the mammals, whales. And the audience is just confused. These speeches are getting so confusing, nobody can follow them. I guess this relates to windmills somehow, wind farms.
But you have a better chance of being struck by lightning than hitting a whale with your boat.
Right.
There is only...
Listen up, kids. Listen up. The more you know.
And listen to this. One such whale killed off the coast of South Carolina in the last 50 years. But on the other hand, their windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. Nobody does anything about that. They're washing up ashore. I saw it this weekend. 3 of them came up. You wouldn't see it once a year. Now they're coming up on a weekly basis. The windmills are driving them crazy. They're driving the whales, I think, a little batty.
There you go. A little batty is probably the theme or slogan for this entire speech. So listen, if I'm as charitable as possible, Trump's talking about the possible negative effects on whales from putting offshore wind farms in. And certainly as adults, we can all say, how does the noise affect marine life? What about habitat disruption? What about collisions with the platforms on which the wind farms are mounted? Could a whale run into it and hurt itself? We can ask all of those questions, but what seems abundantly clear from all of the evidence we currently have is that the impact of getting the energy from burning fossil fuels, including the pollution that's released into the atmosphere, as well as the havoc that is wreaked on habitats from the drilling of the oil or gas or whatever it is, far exceeds the potential damage from the wind farms. That we know, and this is the continued crusade against renewable energy. Trump mentioning his friend, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, the crowd doesn't like it. Remember, it's the monster Trump helped create. Trump brags about creating the vaccines, they boo. Trump brags about another Senator, Lindsey Graham. They boo.
He's great. He's great. And he's my friend, too. Lindsey Graham, wherever you are. Lindsey?
Boo.
Thank you. Oh, no. He helps me on the left. We need help sometimes. Republicans shouldn't need help on the left, but he helps me.
There you go. Don't boo Lindsey. He's a good guy. Trump basically suggesting that China intentionally inflicted COVID on the world because he was just so tough on them when he was president of the United States. Very strange way to get back at the U.S., unleashing a virus that killed so many of their own people. Very strange.
Paid us hundreds of billions of dollars. Not one president got 10 cents from China. I got hundreds of billions of dollars from China.
Right.
They weren't too happy with me. Hence the China virus. Paid us hundreds of...
So COVID is a hoax, of course, which China inflicted on us in order to kill lots of people. But it's a hoax, but it's also not because China sent it this way. Finally, maybe the most humiliating moment, Donald Trump talking about how he's skipping the debates and don't watch the debates, and the debates were low rated on Fox News, mind you. Fox News decides to cut away from Trump's speech. When you've lost Fox News, you know things aren't going well.
They ought to stop wasting their time. You know, they're wasting a lot of time with these ridiculous debates that nobody's watching. Their last debate was the lowest rated debate in history. That's a good compliment, isn't it?
Right.
And what was I doing, Marjorie? I was someplace else, wasn't I, huh? I was doing another interview. We had 271 million people listening to the Tucker Carlson interview. That's an all-time record.
So here we are, back in the thick of campaign season. We are now just 4 months away from the Iowa primaries, and you see former President Trump in a place where you would expect to see him today and in the days to come.
There you go. And so Fox taking the criticism of their own debate as an opportunity to bail. Folks, Trump's brain dead. The crowds are brain dead, as we will later see. And it is just getting sad, really. And again, if Biden did and said the stuff Trump is doing, it would be, we've got to remove this guy from office immediately. And yet with Trump, they look the other way. Oh, it's his personality. It's whatever it is they call it. Really bonkers stuff. And if you think this is crazy, just wait till you see what happened when Trump went to a gun store in South Carolina. Our sponsor, Laundry Sauce, has created the world's best-smelling laundry detergent in simple-to-use, high-performance pods that get the job done. I love the scents. You've got your Australian sandalwood, Egyptian rose. They've stripped away all the unnecessary ingredients and the artificial dyes, and they maximize the hardworking stain fighters and enzymes to ensure your favorite clothes really look brand new. I love Laundry Sauce because they smell so much better than the stuff you get from the grocery store. You know, the usual suspects you get at the store. There's a weird, cheap, chemically type of smell All of the different scents from laundry sauce have a luxurious, smooth, natural scent, not too strong. You can especially tell when your clothes are coming right out of the dryer. It just smells great. And it is not just pods, because laundry sauce makes scent boosters, dryer sheets, dryer balls, fabric softeners. If you aren't happy, send back laundry sauce for a full refund, no questions asked. Head to laundrysauce.com/Pacman. Use the promo code Pacman at checkout for 15% off. The link is down below.